guys, so today I'm gonna be looking at I thought we were friends moments. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. I was with a group of people when one person mocked me by saying, "You don't have any friends." So I turned to my friend next to me and said, "He's my friend," but he jokingly said, "I'm not your friend." Was pretty humiliated and disappointed at the same time. That's the worst timing to joke about that, you know, when someone is teasing your friend and being like, what a lose, like he has no friends, and then you're really gonna be like, yeah, I'm not his friend. Really? You should have backed up your friend. You fake friend. Wasn't invited to the birthday party. It was a very big part too. Oh, that's really sad. When you think you're close to someone and you think they'd invite you to their party, but then they don't, and then you realize and you're like, In second grade, I gave my best friend one half of a best friend's necklace. At recess that day, she came over to me and asked to see my half to show this other girl in our class. She gave my half to the other girl and we never spoke again. She took their necklace to give it to another girl. Girl, you didn't even buy that necklace. How dare you? I swear. What? Like, someone gives you a half of a best friend's necklace. You can't just steal the whole thing. If you want to show someone else that they're your best friend, buy your own necklace. That's so mean. The fact that she even lied to her as well. She was like, oh, I just want to show this other girl, but ends up stealing it and giving it to the other girl. Wow. I'm glad this happened early on because they found out what a fake friend she is. A college friend asked to borrow $500 with a promise to pay it back in full 1 month later. At the time, it was nearly all the money I had, so it was a sacrifice to loan it. After nearly 3 months went by, I finally asked him to please repay the loan as I needed it for expenses. He said, "Hate to break it to you, but it's not gonna happen." So I said, "Whatever problem you're facing, I wish you good luck with it. No need to pay me back." He didn't even thank me. Never heard from him again. What a jerk. He just basically stole the money. You don't need these kind of friends in your life, okay? They're only using you. Oh, that's so sad as well because he didn't ask after the month. He waited like a few more months after, 3 months, until he decided to ask him to pay it back. So like, he was trusting his friend all those 3 months. This makes me mad. 4th grade, it was my best friend's birthday. She had recently transitioned to homeschooling. Up until she was in homeschooling, we spent most days together and every single weekend. When she moved to homeschooling, we only hung out every other weekend or so because she was busy with school. I gave her a call to wish her a happy birthday. She was in the middle of her birthday party. She had invited all of her friends, which I then figured out I wasn't one of. Why does this happen so often? What do you mean you don't invite your best friend? So like, was this all like a one-sided thing, you know? Like she thought she was her best friend, but the other friend didn't think they were their best friend? Or like what happened? But they hung out so often, every other weekend. They spent most days together and every single weekend. What? Wow, that's so odd. I feel like something must have happened. Like for the friend to suddenly just, you know, alienate them. But that's still messed up, you know. I met this really cute girl through one of my friends and we started to talk a lot. I had a little crush on her and apparently she did too. I took the time to get to know her and one day finally decided to ask her out. She said if I made her a song, I'm a small artist. I thought it wasn't a big deal and I got to work. The friend who introduced her to me told me she was just playing me. So I asked her about it. It took her a couple of days to give a complete answer, but she told me she was just playing. I was so sad, but that's not even the worst part. A couple of days later, I struck up a conversation with her about the situation and asked if we could still be friends. And she replied with, "Still? I am still broken from this whole thing and have lost a lot of confidence when I'm around girls." What? Seriously, don't lead someone on, you know? Someone's gonna ask you out. Don't be like, okay, I'll go out with you if you do this. And when they actually do it and you don't go out with them, what are you doing? You know, what? Like, you told them you were gonna go out with them if they did this. And then once they do it, you're gonna be like, oh, I was just joking. Why would you waste someone's time like that when they were pouring out their feelings to you? Really? Don't play with someone's feelings. It's not funny. She didn't invite me to her wedding, though everyone else from our smallish group of friends was invited. I heard from it through our friends, who were very confused as to why she wasn't inviting me. I had invited her to my wedding a couple of years before, though she couldn't make it for family reasons, which was totally understandable for me. We were fine, as far as I knew. She told them she didn't invite me because she didn't want people in her wedding who wasn't going to be in her future. I was of course very hurt and confused because there hadn't been any problems as far as I knew. And well, if she was done with me, what should I do? That was the moment for me. It was a mix of rejection, humiliation, impotence, and sadness. We had known each other for 15 years at this point. I didn't want to put our other friends in a weird situation, so I just stood away. Now to the I'm so happy that we're not friends anymore moment. She contacted me several times to tell me very excitedly about her wedding plans, which we all found very weird. I didn't really react, but wasn't confrontational either. What? I'm so confused. You didn't invite someone to your wedding, but she's gonna be like, oh my gosh, do you know what's going on? I'm so excited for my wedding, but you're not invited. What? Well, she married, and less than a year later, I heard from our common friends that she was having tons of problems. I felt pity for her. I reached out and said that I didn't know what happened to make her not want me in her life, but that I was there anyway if she needed something. She answered that her problem with me was that when I married, the day I had chosen to celebrate my wedding seemed as if I didn't want that she came to it. She had somehow expected me to pick another date for the party because it didn't fit her and was really angry that I hadn't made any effort. What? Okay, so she has to make an effort and you don't? Really? You selfish. That's her wedding day. This is so petty. Okay, this was the first time I was hearing about this and was astounded. I mean, at the time she had told me she couldn't make it. I understood, and as far as I was concerned, all was well. Oh my gosh, I hate people who aren't upfront about things, you know? Like, if you have a problem, say it. If you do want to go to the wedding and, you know, you want to work things out, then tell them. Maybe they can work it out, you know? Maybe they can change it to your schedule. But, like, tell them. Don't keep it all inside. You know? Communication. This is so annoying. Okay. She had been angry with me for this for over 3 years, given what I thought was a friendship up, and made the situation for our common friends extremely awkward. This was the moment when I realized that I didn't want anything else to do with her. I agree. If someone is like this, you can tell they only care about themselves. When I was in 5th grade, my best friend moved to another area of town and another school, but we both still played soccer. So a game was coming up where we were going to be playing each other. I was so excited to see her. When the day finally arrived, before the game, we saw each other from afar and started running towards another. It was going to be the world's biggest hug, and I was ready for it. But then she ran right past me to someone else. I was standing there with my arms out for nothing. I was devastated. Oh my gosh, she acted like she didn't know her. You're better off without that kind of friend, honestly. I had just moved schools, but I still tried my best to hang out and keep in contact with all my other friends. After a month or so, it was one of my best friend's birthday, and everyone was invited except me. Why does this happen so much? I ended up asking to come too, which wasn't a big deal since we usually turned up at each other's houses all the time anyway, and I didn't want to miss out on the fun. So I go, and we genuinely had a great time until it was 8 o'clock-ish, and one of them asked me when I was going home. I decided that my parents hadn't given me a time I needed to arrive home by, so I said that I would leave when everyone else did. This is how it usually went, as I didn't live that far, so it didn't take long for me to get back anyway. A couple hours roll past and it's now pitch black outside, and nobody had left, so I asked when everyone else is planning on leaving to head back home, and it's now that they all say that they're actually there to have a sleepover, except me. So I start heading back home all by myself, and I must have taken a wrong turn because I got lost and didn't know where I was. I went to call my mum to pick me up, but my phone was very conveniently out of charge. I wandered around for ages before finally finding a road I was familiar with, and I sprinted back home as it would take another half hour to get back home from where I was now, and I didn't want my parents to panic. I get home still crying and out of breath, just as my mum was leaving in the car to drive around and come find me. I'm mad for this girl. Seriously, how could they all do that? Man, but I do feel like the best thing to do is, if you weren't invited to the party, don't go. Because obviously, if you weren't invited to a party, that just means the person hosting the party didn't want you there. And it's best for you to just not be there if the energy is so negative. You should just stay home, eat, watch your favorite shows, and be happy, you know? If I was the mum of this kid, I would have went back to the party and confronted her parents, you know? Like, seriously, why didn't the other parents do anything about it? A kid walking home alone, you're really gonna let a kid walk home alone when it's pitch black outside? I would be so mad if I was this kid's parent, honestly. We had to pick partners for dodgeball in like 5th grade, so I went to ask my friend. He told me, hey, wait a second, I just gotta check something. And then asked literally 5 other students until one finally accepted to pair with him. I had to play with the teacher on that round. Wait, do you need partners for dodgeball? Don't you just have 2 teams? Like a team of 10 people each? Partners for dodgeball? What? What do you do? Like hold each other's hands or something? But seriously, I feel like this happens so much, you know? When the teacher's like, oh yes, and pick a partner and you guys can work together. And then you go and you want to pick your friend, but then your friend picks someone else. And you're just like, I thought we were friends. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.